So, this poem is about my experience being mixed race, because I feel like it's something that doesn't really get talked about, so I wrote this poem. Why does nobody ever talk about being mixed race? If I'm honest, I think it's a huge disgrace that throughout history our struggles have never been raised. Now, before you slam me on Twitter, all I'm saying is we too deserve a place. After all, we are an entire race of people that were historically a product of rape. A reminder that there was once a time where white men saw black women's bodies as open gates. Now, as far as ancestral trauma goes, I think it's safe to say we may not be okay. Now, let me be clear. We are, of course, living in the modern day where we are fortunate enough that this is no longer as commonly the case. I mean, mixed race people are usually the product of two beautiful souls merging together regardless of race. However, we must recognise the issues this can bring to a child, and we must educate. A lack of education causes confusion. Now, as far as modern day struggles go, we don't quite fit into any space. Too black to be white, too white to be black. So we end up falling flat on our face, clutching at straws, trying to find our identity because we do not have a place. And how about those mixed race people that are from an array of different places? When filling in forms, you're required to fit your ethnicity into one little tick box, but you don't quite fit into any of the spaces. Other. Is that how we are now defined? How can you expect a child to flourish in this world where they are seen as other? Now, it's easy to say we are all equal no matter your race or who you are, but in a world that puts so much pressure on our identity, it's easy to feel lost when you are missing a huge part. A lack of education causes confusion. Now, I can't talk about being mixed race without discussing some of the racial fetishism and objectification we may face. I remember a time where being light-skinned was the in thing. A boy would say to me, "Yo, you got a pretty face," and I have to wonder, do I? Or is it because of my race? Now I hear comments like light-skinned people think they're too nice. No, maybe we are just tired of being the world's little device, exotic, a little spice, your one-way ticket to a biracial baby. Which brings me on to my next point. Let us not forget mixed-race children were also historically a product of women's fetishism of black men. Something we see in history time and time again. Take the Kardashians, for example. One of the most influential families of our time, their obsession with black culture and desirable mixed-race babies has spread like a heinous crime. There are some women having babies with men simply because they will look cute. How very damaging. Race is not a fashion trend. This rubbish needs to end. And finally, to discuss some of the microaggressions commonly used towards mixed-race people. I remember the first time I told someone I had two mixed-race parents. "So you're fully black?" I was taken aback. To be frank, I wanted to turn around and give them a huge slap, but a lack of education causes confusion. And what about the term half-caste? Caste, Spanish for pure, so if you are half-caste, it means by definition you are impure. Most people don't know this. Ignorance is bliss, they say, but I say a lack of education causes confusion. Or what about the times where you're out with your family and unlike the rest of them, you are black, the stares and calculating looks on people's faces, trying to understand, how is this? A lack of education causes confusion. To wrap this up, I want to be clear, the message behind this poem is not to stop having babies that are mixed race, but to recognise if you make this decision, you have to at least understand the difficulties your child may face. Not black enough to be black, not white enough to be white, constantly feeling like they have to pick a side and never really feeling embraced. A lack of education causes confusion. I also want to be very clear, I'm in no way disregarding the black struggle or comparing it to that of the mixed race, but what I will say is we have a struggle of our own to be accepted in a world where we have no place or history as to say, where our outer exterior can shadow our inner, and where a lack of knowledge can have drastic effects on our community's mental health. Check on your friends. They may not be okay. And I ask again, why does nobody ever talk about being mixed race?
Yeah.